I feel like, our time here is short. It's always short. So I got to cram in as many things as possible, Y'all better fear him. I've been here whipping up. Hold up. This here Popeyes on the porch. Niggas here oxidize and get scorched. Bitches here pitchforking with a torch. Nigga here pale horse with a sword. Bitches bring box left with a corpse. Extra hell on my order of intercourse. Killed if in the blast at all of these rappers. I'm a god to these rappers, yeah. Yeah. Wasting on my time trying to pick up a doll, babe. I pick up the controller and play it for all day. Reminiscing to a time when my billings was all paid. Oh man, oh man. Arms up, no I can't get a piece of mind. Long live the creators. Rich spirits, still we trying to get the paper. Living real life as a staple. Got my mind racing, couldn't tell you it was stable. Y'all can keep the simpler times. Back when it was a vibe. Back when niggas was all wrapped in similar cloth. Back to me and you was wrapped and tangled without strings to angle us and lacked entanglements. The back of this. Stop playing before I turn you to a song. Watch you niggas get stressed. That's a wedgie in a thong. I could wet up any throne. Got the bishop making moves, begging for the smoke. Niggas getting popped like a woo. Listen, RP pop.
All right. What's up, everybody? It's Chase with Chaesar Videos out here in Okinawa, shooting with Krash Rappin.
Crash.
How you doing tonight?
Let's go. I'm good, man. I'm good. I woke up. I'm healthy and everything.
Yeah. This is I'm about to leave Okinawa, so this is the last interview I'm gonna be able to do out here. Sadly, but I'm glad that we're able to link up on a nice Sunday afternoon.
For sure, man.
We're just chilling.
I'm glad you hit me up. Thanks for hitting me up, man.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how long you been out here in Okinawa?
Let me see. I got out here last May, so about a little over a year, about a year and a half now. So.
And where were you before that?
I was in England, bro. I was in England for a good almost 7 years, man.
Like England?
Like England, like outside London, Cambridge, all that. So I used to live in Cambridge, but I might as well have lived in London because I was there like almost every year, man. Or every weekend. Yeah.
Like. You just like lived there?
So yeah, I like lived there. Like I was living in Cambridge. So I left for a year to go to Korea, but then I went back to bland food and British accent.
Are you like born and raised in England?
No. I was just there for work. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So where were you born and raised?
Actually, so I've lived all up and down the East Coast. The reason why I say I'm from Atlanta is because that's where I was last and that's where I graduated. I was born in Camden, New Jersey, but I don't know anything. If you ask me anything about Camden, I know zero about Camden. Yeah. So I was raised on the East Coast. I was born in Camden, but I claim Atlanta because I was there for years and that's where I graduated. So that's what I remember the most. So.
Interesting. Yeah. So where in all that did you start making music?
Let's see. So I started making music. I was living in North Carolina about in the 9th, 10th grade, and I started just fooling around, making crank dats, to social and stuff like that. And then eventually I just kept doing it, man. And I never really took it seriously until about a few years ago, let's say about 2019, 2018. So I released my first track on a platform in 2019.
Yeah. So how old are you?
I let everybody guess that. They can figure it out, bro. They can figure it out. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. So you started taking it seriously 2019.
Yeah.
Before that, what were you just messing around?
Yeah, so I just like to do it, man. I like to just fool around on beats and stuff like that, and I like to see test my wordplay. I like to see how I can put words in a way where they sound good. So I mean, obviously, I didn't start out doing good. I just started out just doing it. So. Eventually, I feel like I honed my craft to where I wanted to be. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. What did what your childhood look like that led you to music?
So, my childhood was very mixed up, bro. I've lived pretty much everywhere from trailer parks to hoods to suburbs to hoods that look like suburbs to suburbs that look like hoods. But my communities that it's pretty much stayed the same is that it was always we always looked up to the hood dudes, always everywhere I went it was always like that. I lived, let me see, I started out in trailer parks, stuff like that. Eventually I moved out for the suburbs for a while, then about my teen years moved to the hood. So I was in and out of the hood pretty much all my life. the suburbs. See, both of them had their benefits and they had their downsides to both. Like the suburbs, I liked it. Obviously, it was safer. It was like, I think better peers. But at the same time, I didn't feel like it was like real. Like a lot of people, I felt like were faker than when I was down in like hood areas. So I feel like it was a lot more realer people down there. So, yeah. Like J. Cole said, is actual beauty in the struggle. So, yeah.
So, where in that did music pop up? Like, were people around you making music?
So let me see. I mean, it's always been like hip hop around me, and I guess one day, you know who really inspired me? Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, bro. Lil Wayne. I remember he was this was his drought mixtapes were coming out, and I just remember hearing it. I'm like, man, like I like this. Like I'm gonna try this, and I got on there and I started trying to do it, And also, this was the same time when Soulja Boy and everything was coming out. Crank that Soulja Boy. So I was like, everybody was like, crank that Spider-Man, crank that Batman. I was like, yeah, I could make one. I could just name a superhero and crank it, So yeah.
Oh hell yeah. Okay. So would you start like? You started. When you jumped in, were you recording or what? Writing, just freestyling?
So I had a right. So one of the worst parts I've been in was like North Carolina. It was like Snow Hill. It was like out in the country, but the schools gave us laptops. The schools gave us laptops to borrow, and I would just get on GarageBand and I start recording from there. So I just. Like I didn't have a mic. I used the in laptop mic, and we started going. It was me and my little brother. We just put on the beat and just put on our track, and no mixing, no nothing, just straight up raw vocals.
Okay, so when I've listened to all your music and stuff, the one thing that popped out to me first was that you're very lyrical, and. Is that true?
Yeah. I like to have a message. I like to have content. So yeah.
Who do you feel like inspired that? Where do you think that comes from?
It's always been like that. Even like when I first started making music, I always wanted to say something real, man. I've never been the type to wanna just portray something or just say things just because other people are saying them or just because it will make me money. I like to say what's on my mind. I like to say what I feel, and it's easier to put it in music, honestly. So, yeah.
That reminds me. I think you must have posted it like last night on your story. So I saw this when I think I was taking the bus here. You posted, and who was it? I think it was a clip of Nipsey.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Could you explain that?
So yeah, man, I like that interview because he was saying like he used to. I mean, I know Nipsey rolling 60, so he used to come out and just talk about gang shit all the time, like gang culture and this, that, and he said it motivated people to, throw up their hoods and start fighting and all that stuff, and then eventually he was like, well, how about I like say something that I want people to do, like I want people to do business and like motivate them to get property, own their masters and stuff like that. And he said he started changing what he talks about in interviews, and he started seeing results from that. So I resonate with that. I like that. I feel like there's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah. You say you like your music and your lyrics to have a message. What type of like messages you feel like you find yourself giving out?
Man, it's honestly whatever the situation is in. Sometimes I'm feeling political. Sometimes I'm feeling like a deep message, and sometimes I just want to talk some shit. Sometimes I just want to just have some bravado and just be like, look, y'all not messing with me, or it's, I just say whatever I want. I don't have to be. It doesn't have to be deep all the time. I don't have to be preaching all the time. I don't always want to hear that. I'm sure everybody doesn't always want to hear that, and I don't always want to talk about that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. What was the music video I saw I think it was the J. Cole remix. The music video was out in nature.
That was Kendrick remix. So that was
it was a Kendrick remix.
Yeah, that was a Rich Spirit remix. So that with that one, I was just look. So I was listening to the album, and that song came on, and I just felt it. I love that song. So just put it on, wrote how I felt when the beat came on, and then after that, it's just I feel like this is a wilderness type, really getting in touch with Rich Spirit, really getting in touch with my spirit and everything like that. So me and the boy Renato, shout out Renato, because I asked him where we can do an interview for that, or where we can do a video for that. And this man was like, "Oh, it's like an easy hike, We just gonna walk out to the field and everything like that, bro." It had just rained. Bro. This dude Renato had me fucking running up fucking muddy walls, like it was steep curves, bro. Luckily I wore my ugly shoes. Yeah, I was like, bro, we were gonna die, man. I lost my phone. He found it for me, bro. My phone fell out of my pocket in the mud, bro. I don't know how we found it, bro, but he fucking found it. Yeah.
It looked like it was perfect weather in that video.
Yeah. So it had rain the day before.
Oh my god, that shit was lying.
It was perfect weather, but it was the getting there, bro. The hike was insane. But yeah, it was dope. I like that shoot a lot. So yeah.
Okay, so you said the message is like really whatever you're feeling at the time,
Yeah.
A few different things.
Yeah,
so however you're feeling.
Yeah.
Where you're at in life right now, what do you feel like is most important to you?
Mentoring the people younger than me. So I feel like I have enough life experience. I know you asked this question way back, but I'm 30 years old. I'm 30.
Oh, you don't look like it.
Huh?
You don't look like it.
Oh man, you trying to flatter me? Hey, you learn with me in this interview? Yeah, no. But so I'm 30, and I feel like I have a lot of life experience now, and I wish there were people older than me who had gave me the stuff I know now. A lot of it I had to learn the hard way, and everybody has to learn things the hard way. But I mean, if I can help, I would like to help. So I like to do that every now and then. Just throw little tidbits in there. I'm not trying to be fucking super preachy, Farrakhan, nothing like that. But I'm just give like little nuggets of information and shit like that. So yeah, not in a corny way. Like let me explain this. It's like when I say corny, I mean like a way where it's like I'm better than you. You're doing this and that. You shouldn't be doing this and that. Don't drink. Don't do that. I'm just saying like in a way where it's like, look, I understand. Like I know how. I was you. I was that when I was younger. But here, let me tell you something. Like that type. So.
You feel like, you said I was you. What do you feel like you were when you were younger that you didn't hear,
I feel like I thought I knew everything. I thought I knew everything. I was like, kind of, you can't tell me nothing. Like, you can't tell me nothing. Like, it's good where I came from, and it's kind of bad where I came from, because like I was taught like by different groups of people. Like when I was in the hood, I was around hood friends, and I picked up a lot of stuff from them, because I'm like, oh man, they're this. I want to be like that. So it's good because it's like a can't tell me nothing vibe, but it's also like bad when it comes to learning things, because you're not always right.
Yeah. Okay. So, why were you moving around like a bunch growing up? Man,
that's a good question. I kind of want to get my parents on this interview and be like, yo, why do we move around so much? I guess they were. And this is just a guess. This is not a full answer, but I'm guessing they were trying to get us in a good area. And every time we got to a good area, it would be a reason we had to move back to the bad areas. And it was just in and out. She's just trying to get us in a good neighborhood, trying to get us in a good upbringing. But it was like we kept teetering backwards and then going back forward and teetering backwards. So I think that's why.
So you were moving like long distances, like cross states?
Oh yeah. So I lived. Let me see. I lived in Virginia. I lived in North Carolina. I lived in New Jersey. I lived in Georgia. And now they live in Florida. My mom lives in Florida. So yeah. So.
So, was that like? What was the longest you ever stayed in one place? Like, was that all throughout high school? You moving, middle school?
That was all my life.
Oh, all your life.
Let me say it. Like I think the longest I stayed somewhere was maybe 4 years. So, and that was Virginia. When I first moved to Virginia, it was like 4 years in Hampton Roads area, and then I went to Atlanta, and I was all over Atlanta. I was on the east side, south side. So yeah.
And so finish high school up. What'd you do after that?
Straight in the military, bro. Straight in the Air Force. So yeah. Yeah.
And that took you like all over the place?
Yeah, that took me all over. That took me. Let me see. I was in Kansas. I was in England. I visited a lot of places, but lived wise, I was in England, here, and Kansas actually, and Korea. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. So all of that combined, do you feel like? How did all that affect you to become into who you are now?
Man, that's a good question. It's a very complicated one too. I say, man, I just take life experiences. I live and I learn. I've had cringy moments. I've had moments where I look back, I'm like, yo, I actually did that. That was so dumb. I've had smart moments. You know, I had like stuff that I feel like I used to do that I can't do anymore. I'm like, man, like how did I manage to do that? Stuff like that. So it's just experience, really. So
yeah. Do you feel like? How do you view all that? Do you view that as moving around a whole bunch like that as like a negative or a positive in your life?
Both, because man, I feel like I didn't stay anywhere long enough to build relationships, like a strong relationship with friends. So I was always having to try to make new friends, and sometimes I'll just get tired, man. Sometimes I'll just be like, I don't feel like making new friends again. Like it'd be sometimes where I literally just be a loner. I mean, I got brothers and sisters. I got 3 brothers and a sister, so that lived with me at the time. I got more brothers and sisters, but they lived with me. And my younger brother, we pretty much together like almost every day. He's probably only sibling I'm with every day of my life, so I still had him. It was bad for that reason, and it was also, as a kid, I felt like I had something to prove, especially when I went back to like hood areas. But I always felt like I had to prove myself to be hard, prove myself to be tough, shit like that. And I felt like because of that, I got into a lot of conflicts. So that was the bad. So the good part about it is that I learned to adapt a lot. So it was a lot of different environments, a lot of different situations. So I learned how to adapt to my environment. So I think that's the good part. And I was diverse in the culture wise, because I like when you go to different areas, you learn different things. You're not just in one town. You like meet different types of people and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So how do you feel like that plays into you making music now? Do you feel like that has a role there? Kinda. But honestly, man, I just feel like I've always just been a hip hop fan. Like it's like from. Like I remember 8 years old, just turning on BET, bro, getting in trouble for watching certain videos. So like I got in trouble. Like the first 2 videos I remember watching, where both of them I got in trouble for was Mystical Shake It Fast. What? So yeah, that, and then it was one of Nelly's videos, bro. I think it was Country Grammar. I think it was Country Grammar, because my mom heard the bleeps, and she was like, I know what they're saying. Like, stop listening. Man, come on. So I've always been into hip hop. I just never thought about doing it until like I got into high school. And I was like, I can do this. And like it was some of these people in my school who one used to live above. Actually, so Travis Porter. The group Travis Porter, Quez Woods, he used to live above me, and I remember him and like his group would always be rapping in school and stuff like that.
And one time I just wanted to get into it. I was like, yo, and then, but I bitched out. He was like, they were like, yo, and rap too. And he was like, yo, rap. And I was like, nah, rap. Everyone was looking at me, and I was like, nah, rap. I haven't, practiced this or anything. But yeah, and then it was good to see them blowing up and stuff like that. I was like, oh, it's dope. So
yeah. Okay. So with where you're at in your music right now, where do you feel like you want to take it?
Let's see. So I like music. I like to do music. I want to get my music out there as much as possible. So I want to take it as far as I can. As far as my primary thing forever, I'm not. It wouldn't be the primary thing I do. But I would like it to help push where I want to be. So definitely I'm trying to get into an creative industry. I'm a very creative person, and I use music to propel myself into those type of things. So yeah.
So when you say not like thing you want to do forever, is there something that you do feel like you want to do forever?
Yeah, I just want to, bro. I want to just be creative, man. I want to make like. It's a few things I dive into. Like I've been dabbling in fashion, stuff like that. I've been getting into videos. I really want to get into like directing and like films and stuff like that. But I will always do music regardless of what my primary thing is. So music will always be a part of it. So yeah, man. But yeah, I love being up on stage. I love shows. I love being up on stage. I love recording. I like everything about it. I don't like politics, bro. I don't like the industry politics. I know you got to be a certain way. You got to do certain things. And I don't like being controlled like that, honestly. So that's why I don't think it would fit as far as my primary thing. But I'm going to always do music. I'm always going to look for shows. I'm always going to be trying to do shows. So
Okay. With that, like, creativity, have you, like, dipped your hands into other sort of like mediums? So
I do direct every music video I've done. I've directed. So I believe my first one and my third one, it was a cooperative directive between me and my video guy. Shouts out to Sensei San. He was dope. That was my boy. He used to help me direct and shoot my music videos. So he would shoot them, and we would just come up with ideas for him. So I've always been into like directing and stuff like that. So, and I like to write stories and stuff like that. So yeah.
Like short stories, books.
Yeah, short story. Not like books. Just like short like films. Like I got ideas for like films and stuff like that. So I always wanted to get into that type of stuff.
Oh, okay,
so,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, so
like the next music videos, I have some crazy idea. They're getting farther and farther out. So yeah, I want to put those on a camera and see how they turn out.
Yeah, you got like pitches made for them.
The what?
Like treatments or pitches made for them, like ideas.
Oh
for
yeah,
these videos?
yeah. I got like whole notes and stuff like that. Every now and then I just be sitting there. I'm just like, man, this would be a. Let me write this down so I don't forget.
Yeah. Huh. So you said, is it just the industry politics that sort of keep you maybe not wanting to do music as your main thing?
Yeah, and also because I like to do shows and I like to make music, but I like to do other things too. I don't want it to just be singled on music, because that's never a for sure thing. I feel like it's not really a solid thing, and anything happen. People fall off all the time. People like do this. So I do want to keep doing music, and I think even if I did like get like real big or something like that, I would use it to start something else. Yeah. To start other business ventures and stuff like that. So it would be a great propulsion to get there.
Okay. So I get what you're saying. Because of just like I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, the like instability of it, or unreliability. Is that what I'm looking for?
Like, yeah, I'm trying to think of a word too, man. It's like, shoot, man, I use this word all the time and I cannot think of it. But yes, stability, I guess. That's the best thing I can. It's like a job security type, like kind of like that. So I want something solid, you know. I mean, obviously, if I like started getting tours and shit like that, like I'm gonna use that to my advantage. Like, but I don't do music for that. I do music because it's like therapy to me. It's like it's not only is it therapy. It's like I feel like I have to do. It's like I feel like I have to get thoughts out, and the best way to do it is do music. So that's why I do music. So, but as far as like industry, I don't know if it's for me. I feel like I just slip up and say something and just get canceled, which I'm gonna do it anyway. So I'm not scared to, say it. I'm just like, I know it's gonna happen if I do.
So is like directing and film, is that your more concrete plan then?
Yeah. So directing, film, fashion, anything creative, I just keep doing, and I'm seeing how far I can take it. So that would be whichever one I get the most joy out of doing is probably where I stick to. But I think right now it'd be like directing into films and stuff like that. I think I really want to get into those. So not really shooting per se, not really shooting. I'm not really a camera person, but I like the script wise writing and like directing and stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay. So it seems like the art side of things is really big for you.
Yeah.
What role does art play in your life?
Oh man, everything. Like literally every like my free time goes to art. Like I like to go, even people like I have nothing to do with, like stuff like, let's see, dancing. I mean, I used to dance when I was young, but I'm not getting into that. But like, if it's a dancing event, I like to go to dancing event. If it's a fashion event, I like to go to fashion event. If it's art, like painting and stuff like that, I like to go to painting event. Like everything art wise fascinates me. So, like I love that type of community. So, yeah.
What is it about art? Since like it's not just one medium, what is it about art in general?
It's expression, man. It's like expression of people. Like it's an expression that you can't always put into words, you know. It's like visual expression, motion expression, what you wear, like everything, like jewelry, like it's just an expression of people, and I love that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big part of like why I do the interviews, is so that I can give a platform for artists to speak about really whatever, because I love seeing different types of artists, you know?
Yeah.
But that one word you used, expression, I feel like that is so integral to everything a creative does. Do you feel like art is really like the main way you express yourself?
The main way, yeah. You know what? Yes, because I feel like in any way you express yourself is art. Like even when speaking, like just inflection of your voice, like is art. Like when anything you have a passion for that you get out is an expression, I feel like it's art. Like, but art is subjective, I think. So like some people might be like, oh, that's not art, but you can see art in anything, literally.
What do you feel like right now commands all of like the majority of your attention in life?
That's a good question. Majority of my attention? Man.
Where do you feel like it's drawn?
Music, my girl, work. That's probably it, man. And life experience, man. I've been trying to get plenty of life experience, but I feel like, you know, our time here is short. It's always short, so I gotta cram in as many things as possible, you know. I've been trying to visit a few things. I've been trying to get. Did it die?
I think so.
Okay, let's hold on.
What's up, everybody? Just reset the camera batteries, and we are good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Back in action. Let's go.
The topic, what were we on? It was on art, and what specifically about art?
You're asking the worst person. Let me see. So we were talking about how art is expressed, and you said something about expression. You said something about passion. I said you can see art in everything, and from there my mind goes blank, bro.
It was something.
Yeah.
Do you feel like what do you feel like inside you?
I remember now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I remember exactly. You said, "What is my focus on?"
Oh yeah. Yeah, you said it was on art. You said it was on
art, my girl, work, and music. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you feel like specifically music versus other mediums? What draws you there?
Music is literally like a natural. It's like it's like a natural thing. It just feels like it's like eating, sleeping. It's like I feel like I gotta do it. It's like it just sometimes I'll just hear things like, bro, I was walking at AV and I heard the little street light like things and it just sounded like a beat to me. So I'm like, man, I can freestyle this. I can start rapping to this. So yeah, it's stuff like that, bro. It's just, you know.
Yeah. You find yourself like, this is along these lines. This is reminding me of something a buddy of mine said, who was an artist. He, shout out Raphael. He makes sculptures. Mm-hmm. He a whole bunch of different type of artwork. Worked a lot with fabrics and stuff. But something he once said is that he sometimes romanticizes like his path and his artwork and his life through art. Do you feel like you ever do that?
I'm sorry. I'm not sure I understand the question. Like he romanticized like. Say it again. Sorry.
I guess a better way for me to phrase it would be that like art provided like an idealistic place to go to sort of escape.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. You know what? I think a lot of people do music because it brings them to the side of them that they like. They can push or make the passion come from a side of them that they like and leave off the side of them that they dislike. Or it can like harness the parts that they dislike and put it into music, stuff like that. So I think, yes, it kind of puts you to where you want to be. You can be who you want to be, like the side of you that you want to be and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I feel like that's what everything, like, well, every art, even video games, honestly. That's why I feel like that's why people play video games, to get to escape reality and be in a world that you want to be in.
What do you feel like would be, like with that in mind, the perfect like world for you if you could build it from the ground up? Like
in music wise, or like
everything?
Man, you know what? It's funny that you asked that because I'm gonna connect that to my music. I want. With music and creativity in general, I want everybody to eat. When I say that, I want you to be the best version of yourself to where it can propel you to not only in a business, financially set, but and a place where you're happy, where you can look at your work and be like, I did that. Like, I created that. That my ideal world is... everybody feels that way. Obviously, is my ideal where it's unrealistic, but I want everybody to harness the thing that gives them passion, the expression that gives them passion, and be able to use it to their advantage. So,
I was honestly expecting like an answer around the lines of like, all right, I'm able to produce art and express myself freely without worrying about money or anything like that.
So you mean like my world specifically, like just crashes?
Well, so that's what I was expecting. But then you come here and you're talking about I guess it's just I'm just an asshole, selfish person. But
Nah, I see what you're saying.
It's what do you feel like makes you have that sense of wanting to teach people, wanting people to have their expressionism, you know? Mm-hmm. What makes you feel like sort of like selfless like that?
So, man, I feel like, like I said, when I was coming up, I wish there were people to give me the advice that I learned now. Like, I had a good stepdad, and he told me a lot of things, but obviously people can't teach you everything. And there's a lot of things I feel like, especially in America, that we learn that's kind of is BS, honestly. Like, so my motivation is like, when I got out of high school, if I didn't go to the military, I wouldn't have known what I was doing. I would have had no clue. But had there been somebody who could like steer me in the right direction, like, there's everything out there for you to grab. This, whatever you want, you can grab it. People have been saying that, but I didn't understand that at all. I'm like, no, you can't. Like, how am I supposed to? And then once I got older, I'm like, yo, everything's within arm's reach if you really want it, honestly. And I just want to connect that dot, make it so instead of it's like, you can do anything you want to do and leave it at that, it can be like, you can do anything you want to do. I want to do this. How do I do that? Here, let me help you connect the dots. Like, trying to get people to connect those dots so they can be where they want to be, you know? Like, yeah.
What you said one thing in there that kind of caught my attention. What do you feel like we're like in the U.S. is taught that is BS on that note? Because that's a whole like deep, you know, there could be a lot of stuff.
The whole American dream, the whole you have to go to school, you have to get a degree and you will be successful type of thing, or it's good to work under somebody, it's good to be at a corporation making a good salary and stuff like that. Like, I think all that is BS. Not saying that you shouldn't, or not saying that that's the wrong way to go. No, it's a way to go, but it's not the way to go. I feel like there's if you want to work in a corporation, have a good salary, do that. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. But we're taught that that's the way to go. That's the good way, the best way to be. Work under somebody, get a good salary. It's like, to me, I don't want that. I want to do what gives me passion. I want to do that, and I want to harness that and help me have enough money to live. So, yeah. But,
interesting.
Yeah, but I don't want to, and I see this a lot, step on other people to get where I want to be. Like, I feel like that's more important. It's more important. I know they say get your money, get your this, look after you first. Yeah, sometimes I'm going to look out for me first. I'm not all fucking Mother Teresa. I'm not going to be like, yeah, have all my money, guy. Like, I don't want no money. No, everybody wants money. I want money. But I am not going to step on another person's toes just to get to where I want to be. I'm not gonna fucking down somebody else. When I say I want everybody, I want people. If I can take somebody with me to get money, I'd rather take somebody with me than to throw them under the bus. You know. So,
do you? What ways do you feel like you want to be able to spread that influence to people, especially like younger generations? You know.
Obviously through music. Through community. I really like to get into art community. Like, I'm in Tokyo all the time, and I feel like they have a bigger community as far as art. So I like to just being around those people, motivating others and being motivated by the others. That's like, I love that. Like, that's top tier energy right there. Any kind of, like, even showcases and stuff like that, being around other artists, we're motivating each other and being motivated at the same time. I think that's a way to get people to do that.
Okay. So I know for me, one of the things that I would have most liked to hear as like straight up coming out of high school, and I'm young, I'm 21. So it's not even that recent in the past, you know. It's just 3 years ago. What would you tell somebody who is 17, 18 years old, they're about to leave high school, and they don't know what the fuck they're going to do? They don't know what they want out of life. What would you tell them?
Well, I would first ask them. I would need to know what kind of person they are. I need to know what kind of person they are. Are they like a creative? Are they like a handy person? I ask them what they want. And or what they like to do first off, and whatever the answer was, we go from there. Like say, like I like to cook. All right, like all right. So do you want to own a restaurant, or do you want to be the cook, or what do you want to do? Like, and they would tell me, and I try to come up with the best way possible, for them to get that to where they want to be. A lot of people feel like, I think a lot of people feel like I can't do that, like. For whatever reason, I can't do that, or I don't know how to do that. It's too hard. It's too big of a task. But man, getting older, I slowly start to learn things are in your reach. You just got to figure them out. Especially we got phones nowadays, bro. You can learn anything off YouTube, as we were talking about earlier. I learned how to mix and master all my stuff off YouTube. I don't have to get anyone to mix and master my stuff anymore. You can start films like just off YouTube. You can figure out light placement and everything like that. So we're in an age where you don't need a degree to do what you want to do.
Yeah. Interesting. Do you feel like you're very business or entrepreneurial minded?
Yes, I do, because with everything, like I don't let money propel me, and I don't let business like drive me. That's not my drive. I want it, but my drive is always going to be the passion. Like that is what drives me, and the money comes secondary. The money is like, if I can get money off it, I'm going to get money off it. I'm going to drive. I'm going to use it for business in the way that I can. But I feel like the minute you let the money drive you is when the passion is lost. So
when you were younger, or even now if you still feel it, you've mentioned a few times now that a lot of the reason why you want to help people is because you didn't have someone there who could teach you, or like you weren't, because I know you say your stepdad, he was able to teach you a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And wow, I ramble too much.
No, I get what you're saying. Let me clarify what I'm saying, because I did have older brothers and I did have a stepdad, but there was just certain things we never talked about, never harped on. It's like a lot of things that I wish someone had told me that wasn't told to me, or even if they taught me, it probably went in one ear and out the other. Sometimes it was just I was hard headed. Like I said, like I like had so many phases in high school. I didn't know who I was in high school, man. I had so many, but I reached this point where I couldn't be told nothing. Like I'm right regardless of whatever you say. So I mean, you're always going to meet those people, and at least you can say you tried, So I feel like, I did have some guidance. I had guidance, but not all of the ones I wish I had. So
well, I mean, it's impossible for everyone's an individual, So even if there are those people, it's impossible. Nobody is able to perfectly connect because everybody's individuals,
Yeah.
Do you feel like that not being able to sort of, for you, how you were, not being able to get what you needed at the time, how did that affect you?
In what aspect of getting what I needed?
As in, looking at you and hearing what you're saying, it seems like it made a pretty big impact. If it's impacted you enough to the point where you want to now be someone who can teach those like topics and those things. So like coming out of high school and all that, did you feel like you were like lost because there were certain things that you didn't sort of get taught to you or didn't get through your head?
Yes, I was lost because I didn't know, I didn't understand that I didn't have to go the route everybody was telling me to go. Because when I wasn't by any means a dumb kid in school. I knew most of the work. I could easily I'm very good at tests. But the problem was I didn't like doing a lot of work. I wasn't interested. At first I thought I was just lazy, but it was just stuff I wasn't interested in. I wasn't interested in that. I like the hands-on aspect. So I went straight in when I went in the military, I liked my job. It was hands-on type. So I like to do hands-on type things. And I didn't know that there were other routes other than school and the degree way. I thought that was it. And then when I didn't get it, I thought I have no other route. I'm just going to fail at life. And then I went in the military, did my thing, and, and that's how that. And let me clarify one other thing too. When I say teach, I don't mean like teach like a teacher. I mean like inspire, motivate, like motivate type, like you don't have to listen, but I feel like when I was younger, I looked up to hip hop. I looked up to rappers. I looked up to, like, my first favorite rapper was probably 50 Cent. And then after that was Jeezy. So, and they were like, you know what they talk about. So it's like, I feel like it was a high motivation to do that type of stuff, even though I never really seen myself. I was like a goofy kid. So I never see myself getting into that type of stuff. Maybe in high school, it was like the closest I ever got to stuff like that. But it's even still, I looked up to it and it made me someone I wasn't, because I wanted to be as hard as I wanted to be a tough guy everywhere. I didn't want to look soft. So I feel like the music did influence me as a person. So I want to be the opposite. I want to, just like that interview I said where I posted with Nipsey, I want to be the opposite of that. I want to motivate people to, better themselves, So, but.
Do you still ever, like nowadays, feel that draw, like you were saying, of, all right, this route that is like established by our culture and society in the US now, which is like, this is the steps you got to take to be successful, and if you go off that route, you're failing, like you're fucked up. Do you feel that nowadays still?
No. I feel like there's always a plan B. It's not easy. Most of the time, it's not going to be easy. But it's that drive that's going to get you there. You can, man, I've seen crazy success stories from where people used to be to where they're getting. Some got lucky, some worked hard. A lot of the ones just worked hard. It's all about the knowledge, the people you surround yourself with, and I feel like you can get out of any trench. So. Yeah, it's always a way. It's so many people saying, oh, you can only do this way, or this is the best way, or this is the best way. But there's no really best way for a set best way. Everybody's the individual, like you said. So something that works for you may not work for the next man.
Okay. So your like way that you're just sort of carving out for yourself, where do you feel like that looks like it's going to take you?
As far as music, or like the what we were just talking about, like
what we were just talking about, anything.
So that literally has been my drive since I realized it. It's always important to have a steady income. It's always important to have a steady income. I use my steady income to support where I want to be. I use it to push where I want to be. So my steady income, I take it and I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I have passion for? What do I want to do for the rest of my life? And when I think about it, it's like art. Like I'm trying different forms of art to see which one I'm passionate about. I already know I have music, but I don't want just music. I want to have a few brands to say I don't want to do music. I can do like fashion, or I can do films or stuff like that. So that's my drive. If I want to be a filmmaker, then I'll go get somebody with a camera and start off small. I always start off, you gotta start somewhere. Start off small, keep doing it, keep making dope content, and eventually you'll get to where you want to be.
So how long did it take you to realize that?
Oh man, too long, too long. I wish I had realized this earlier, but I think, man, around when I got to England, when I started taking music seriously, honestly, because it's like, man, I can't do this. And then you do it and you're like, oh shit. Like, all right, next step. Man, I can't do this. Yeah. And then I do it. And I'm like, yo, it's crazy. Like, if you had told me in 2016, 2017, I'd be on a stage, I'd be like, no, like, I can't do that. Like, I'm just like, I can make music, but nobody's going to put me on a stage. It's just me. I'm just, Mike. That's what I really am. It's Mike. No, but like, after a while, like, I started, like, I never even thought I would break 1,000 streams on anything. Like, but they slowly been increasing. So, yeah, man. Once I started hitting those goals, I was like, you know what? I gotta stop saying this "I can't" stuff. Like my most recent goal was to perform in Tokyo. Like that when I got here, that was my goal. I was like, this is gonna be hard, but I'm determined to reach that goal, and I did. And once I did it, it was like a really good feeling. Shouts out to everybody who like made that, especially my bro Kane and Never. They helped me out a lot. When I first got here, I did a video with Renato, and I asked him who's around, and he put me on this guy True Limitless. But True left pretty much a few months after I got here, so I didn't really get to get with him often. But I did in the process meet Never and Kane, and Kane like has showed nothing but love. Never also same, bro. They showed nothing but love and helped me get the context of what I had. So
Interesting.
There's a lot of people involved in like helping. I can shout out a bunch of people, but like so everybody, the people know. They know if they watching, they know who they are. The people who helped me. So
okay, so somebody who maybe doesn't know what they want to do, you know, they like you said earlier, you would have to ask someone, well, what are your hobbies, what are your interests, you know, how do you think, like, how can you inspire somebody who doesn't really know like what they want, you know?
So I meet people like this all the time, and even regular people in my life, and they always don't know what they want to do. I'm like, what do you like to do? What gives you joy in doing? Whatever they say next is, well, I'd be like, well, would you see yourself doing this, or could you see yourself doing that? Like even something like playing video games. I really love to play video games. Could you see yourself being a tester? Could you see yourself like going to competitions? Do you see yourself hosting competitions for certain video games, or being even something like being a YouTube person who shows people how to win in these games? You know, Twitch. Like there's so many avenues for things that you want to do. So that's.
I feel like that specifically, like video games. Whenever I think about this topic, I am always confused when I think about it, because I've always been like of a similar mindset of, all right, what you should do is what makes you happy. Do you feel like I feel like a lot of times video games specifically is like an answer, or if it's not that, it might be something else to help people like escape reality. Do you feel like, have you ever had to deal with like barriers, like mental barriers you've had to break down in order to get to the point?
Every day, every time, there's a lot of mental barriers, bro. There's so like people love to escape reality, because reality can be hard sometimes. It's depressing. People get in and out of depression. People like have internal problems, external problems. So reality is a way to, escaping reality is a way to get out of that. You know, so there are mental barriers of, like for me specifically, a lot of times I say I can't. I'd be like, my brain is telling me I can't. And I'm like, you can't, there's no way you can, And then I have to break through that barrier and be like, nah, forget that. Like, I'm gonna go for it regardless. So, there's always going to be those mental barriers. And you know what? There are always other people telling you can't. I've lived my whole life people telling me I can't do something, bro. It's like, once you break that chain of validation, like I need to be validated by people, like, then you can go very far, a lot farther than you would if you were like, oh no, I don't want people to make fun of me. I don't want to look like this. I don't want to do that. I'm like, nah, forget that, bro. Do what you want to do, literally.
Okay. So with that, like, your brain telling you can't, what do you feel like? Could you elaborate a bit on that? Is that like a procrastination thing? Is that a fear thing? What is that?
Oh man, it's both. So so in the past it was a fear of how I would look to other people, like you're just another rapper or just another this, everybody, right? You don't stand out. That was a fear. Procrastination is definitely a big hurdle, because bro, I will literally wait till, you know what? When you were pulling up today, guess what time I got here? 3 o'clock. You say you're gonna get here like after 3 literally wait till the last minute for everything. There'll be some days where I'm like, okay, I got 3 songs to do today, and I just don't, and I will wait a few weeks to do it. So that's it's all kinds of things that kind of just stand in the way sometimes. But I mean, once you get around them, like once I buckle down, I'm like, yo, like fuck all the bullshit, like time to get down, like start doing it, and that's when I start getting that road. I don't know if I answered your question. I kind of went on.
No, yeah, it was perfect.
Oh, okay.
So what lets you be able to, after maybe like a couple weeks of procrastinating, you know, what sort of makes you be able to be like, all right, we're doing it, and you do it?
It's like me telling myself, yo, you ain't shit, bro. You literally have been doing nothing. What have you been doing? What are you doing with your life? It's literally like a voice in my brain, like, yo, what are you doing with your life? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm nothing. Like I need to be constantly moving forward. If I'm not moving forward or not doing something, working towards where I want to be, I start to get in my head. It really starts to mess with me. So. Yeah,
like a negative reinforcement type thing. Do you catch yourself doing that?
Yeah, actually a lot. It's like my brain talking shit to myself. So it's like, but it's good. It's good and it's bad. It depends on how you take it. So everybody has that voice in their head where it's like, almost like talking shit to yourself. Like, oh, you're this, you're that. You can either take it and be like, you're right, and get depressed, or you can be like, nah, like that's not me. Like I'm actually this, and I'm gonna prove to myself that I'm this, and I'm gonna work hard, and I'm gonna, do the opposite.
So how are you doing with that right now? Like with procrastination, the fear, and all that?
Procrastination always gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
I'm just a big procrastinator. I feel like I get better about it, but sometimes, man, I don't feel like it. I wake up and I just don't feel like it. So, and that's okay, man. Sometimes it's okay. It depends. Everything is okay in moderation, bro. So, but the minute you're stagnant for a long, long time is when it becomes a problem. That's probably the biggest thing I deal with right now. The fear, not so much, bro. I used to be so conscious of what people say, bro. I used to be like, I didn't want to do a lot of things. I didn't want to express myself because, in school it was like people mess with me a lot. So like, I wouldn't say bully. I was never really. I don't think I was bullied, but verbally, that was the culture, man. We just talk shit about each other. And sometimes I was just the one to talk shit about, it was always that has stuck with me, and I guess it kind of held me back for a while. But now, man, at this point in time, a lot of things I don't care. It just pushed me forward in life. So.
So, do you feel like right now, where you're at with everything, life, career, music, art, do you feel like you're happy where you're at?
Yeah, I'm content with where I'm going. I posted something the other day, and I'm going to use this quote. I'm content. I'm satisfied with the direction, but I think I said like the progression is insatiable. Like I'm not satisfied with where I'm at. I'm satisfied in the direction that I'm going. So,
okay, yeah. So the direction that you're going, what do you feel like are the next steps?
The next steps, so I'm still doing music, and I actually got an album almost done. So once I finish that, I'm gonna be looking for shows again. So I'm gonna be hitting up venues and all that stuff, trying to do shows, and I'm gonna do a video. I don't want to put too much out of what I'm doing right now because I like to leave that as a mystery, but it's going to be a nice little video associated with the album. So, but after that, I'm going to be looking for shows and then getting back into the community and start. I'm trying to host events down here at Okie, so I'm probably going to get into that. And also, when I'm doing my videos, I'm going to do. I'm going to have all that scripted and stuff like that. So that's working towards my film aspirations. So seeing how that turns out.
What type of events?
So I love showcases, not just for music, for all kinds of art. My homie up in Tokyo does them a lot, and I love the energy. I don't feel like we have a lot in Oki, so I'm trying to dive into the community. It's been elusive lately because when I first got here, I feel like there was a lot of people that did a lot of art, like a lot of photographers, a lot of artists, a lot of this, and most of them I know are gone.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to dive back in the community. Once I get enough people on board, then I want to do like art showcases, music showcases, fashion, and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I love that type of energy.
Huh. That's what I'm trying to do with. I've mentioned this on a few of the episodes now with the show I'm trying to put on.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still just waiting to hear back from the venue. You'll be the first one in that group chat. You know, that's where I'll send it when we find out. Hopefully that works out.
That sounds dope, bro. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that works out.
Yeah, I'm trying to put on a show out here in Okinawa on one of the military camps. I will not be here for it, sadly, but the guy who I'm working with the community like service group, who's procuring the venue, he knows, and I was like, yeah, I'll do whatever I have to do online, you know, however I can message you, whatever I got to do, I'm trying to. Yeah, get it done.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Just keep me posted. I'm always ready to perform, bro.
Yeah.
Always. I love it.
Huh. So, what do you out here? What does your circle of people look like? Of like other creatives?
Oh, creatives. You mean specifically in Oki or like Tokyo or like in general?
Both. Oki, so like here, local, and then when you head to Tokyo.
When I started taking music seriously, it was in England, and my homie, shouts out to Tehafa and Sensei San, they were the ones I was running around with. So when I left, I was like, man, I got to start over, and there was nobody here. So right now, most of the people who I came here and started, who I met as far as musically are gone. So except Kane, Kane's still here. I fuck with Kane heavy. He's got some dope stuff. Let me see. As far as Oki, man, I don't know too many. Oh, No Luck. So I've seen a few of his things recently, so he's dope too.
Yeah.
Let me see. As far as out here, that's all I know out of Oki, man. Like, so there might be some more. I'm looking for more, so hopefully I can scout out some more. I love people doing creative stuff around here. So, but in Tokyo, it's a big community, man. I can't even name everybody. Like it's like promoters, it's like rappers. I just did a song with 120 that's out right now. Yeah, man. Like I meet so many. Like I can't even like name them all.
Yeah. So like when you go out to Tokyo, like where do you go? How do you network out there?
So I go to Roppongi and I go to Shibuya. A lot of the people who I met out there are usually all around the city, and I hit them up and see what they're on, see if there's any community events going on. There's always some kind of events, and if they're busy, which most of them are busy, they got their own lives, they got stuff going on. So if they're busy, I just look for community events or art events where I can go to and use the best Nihongo I have, the best Japanese I can speak, or just hope they speak English. Because a lot of the times they do speak English, but every now and then I get somewhere where I'm like, man, I gotta put my Japanese into it, and it's very bad. But sometimes it can get me by.
Yeah, huh? Yeah, I remember seeing a while back, relative, a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. Out in Shibuya, there was like an art showcase event with a lot of different stuff. I want to say it was like Hearts and Roses.
Yes, Hearts and Roses. So once I finished my album, I wanted to hit them up and see if I can get in on that, because I follow them on Instagram, Hearts and Roses and Tokyo Love Hotels also.
I haven't seen that.
So those two are ones that I'm trying to get into when I finish the album. So.
Yeah, the Hearts and Roses one looks so cool because I was just scrolling through the all the artists who were gonna be there. Holy shit, it was huge.
Yeah, they have it often. They have events often. I haven't made it to one yet. I'm trying to make it to one next time I head up there. So yeah, that would be
yeah. So one question I have for you is your music, which we haven't gotten into like at all. Your sound as an artist, how do you feel like that has developed over the years?
Emotion, man. It's like how I feel when I'm doing the song. There's sometimes I feel like I have two completely different voices when I'm making music. You know, and I wouldn't even say two. It's a few. Sometimes it's just very. I usually didn't like going monotone because it's a lack of emotion. I feel like, but sometimes I feel like that works because sometimes that's how it is. It's just like a flat tone. It's just like that's how you feel. And then sometimes it's very like aggressive, and sometimes it's like melodic. Sometimes it's like, hey man, like that. So it depends on how I'm feeling. It depends on how the vibe of the song. So
interesting. Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to like my two latest videos, original videos like Ascent and Peace of Mind, two completely different voices. One is like, you know, low and like pretty monotone, and one is like very melodic. So yeah.
Who would you say you take the most inspiration from, artist-wise, music artist-wise?
It's gonna be so cliche because everybody's gonna know and expect it that is Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole.
Yeah.
Like it's just I hate to be that guy. It's like, oh, the two go-tos, but they are the ones who inspire me. Like from and I'm not let me see, from the start fan of them either, because let me see, I hopped on Kendrick when Good Kid, Mad City came out, and that was like, it was what I was looking for in hip hop. I always heard all the hood stuff. Like, hood shit is good, right? Hood shit is good, but I feel like we have a lack of diversity in hip hop. So when I heard that and it motivated me in a different direction, it was like, this is what I'm looking for. And I latched onto it. Same with J. Cole. I jumped on J. Cole kind of late. I think I heard Friday Night Lights, but I wasn't a fan. I was like, man, this guy is dope. But I was a fan once I heard Born Sinner. Like I think his second album, that's when I was like, okay, like this dude is actually like, so. Yeah, man, those are the ones who inspire me most. There are others who give me inspiration nowadays, but the biggest ones, those are the two biggest ones.
Yeah. Interesting. So, this new album that's coming up that you got, do you have a tentative release date or like a time period we can see that?
I do not. Because not only am I procrastinating, I don't want to be like this date, but I also have a lot of stuff going on outside of music right now that might hinder that. So I don't want to give a date and then I not make that date.
Definitely.
I can say it's almost done though. I can say maybe like 1 or 2 songs.
Yeah. So, your sound on that album, how is that compared to what you have released so far?
So I would say it sounds like maybe 2 of my songs out right now. So the tone is the same as 2 of those songs. I don't want to say those songs because I would rather just let them hear the album and see, let them feel the vibe of it rather than telling you what the vibe is. So it's similar, but there are some aspects that are like I've never done before. So I like to experiment, man. I like to dive into other things that I've been thinking about that I feel like nobody really does.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to pull as much as I can out. What if you could give one, even if it's just like a hint or a tidbit, like a sneak peek of any information about the album?
So it's gonna be a 6-track album, and there will be a video to it, pretty much a compilation video, a condensed. A condensed compilation video. So that's about all I can give right now. I'll be slowly trickling out information on my Instagram. So.
On that note, when that comes out, do you have a name for it yet? Okay. When that comes out, or depending on when you're watching this, if it has already come out, go down to the description right now. You're watching this on YouTube. If you're on a computer, go to the description. Hit his Instagram, hit his socials. Click open a new tab and follow him. If you're on your phone, then pause the video, go follow him, come back to the video. And if you just came back, yeah, man, that's exciting to hear. So 6 tracks on that, 4 of them made.
4 of them made, yep.
4 of them made,
4 of them
2
done, ready.
Okay, and shit, what else is in the works for you coming up?
Man, so after the video, then it's I'm gonna be outdoor shows again. I'm gonna be back in the art community trying to put together events and stuff like that. So hopefully I can scout out some people and get them on board, and we're gonna do another Okinawa takeover. So yeah. So
Do you have a date that our listeners in Tokyo can expect to see you again there?
yes, around New Year's time. Around New Year's time I will be out there.
What you going out there for?
So I'm going out there for networking and pleasure. Networking and just I like to see Tokyo.
Yeah.
Like the whole area. So
Yeah.
fun fact, it's always been my top destination since I was a kid. Since I used to be watching anime as a kid, I was just like, yo, I need to make Tokyo before I die. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Shit, man. What do you feel like with right now? Because doing these interviews, I feel like I really just want to give a platform to artists where they can speak anything they want, you know? Is there anything that you want whoever's listening right now to hear or know?
Oh yes. Two things actually. Don't let people dictate what you can and can't do. Don't let the shit talkers, or don't let lack of encouragement or lack of likes or lack of views determine what you want to do. One. Two, you can literally do what you want. Like when I say do what you want, I don't mean like you can do what you want without any consequences. I'm saying if there's something you want to be in the future, it's literally within your reach. It's not easy, but there are ways to work up there. So, yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate you letting me come out here. We're chilling in his house right now on this Sunday. Appreciate talking about everything.
Yeah, man.
Giving the message out.
Appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah, talking about art and everything. That's real nice. How we talk about like artistic side of stuff, you know, because stuff gets in the way a lot. Yeah. So shit. Thank you for listening. If you made it here, I appreciate you for checking it out. So right now, if you haven't done it, here's the time. We'll say goodbye, and then we'll give the plugs to the descriptions. So thank you. Check out the next interview on this YouTube channel. And now go in the description. Check out links to Chaesar Video's Instagram, and then Krash Rappin Instagram, and a whole bunch of other things too.
Boom. Hey, it was a pleasure, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right.
See ya.